Hey guys, it's Nikki on the go. So I am so excited. I'm here in downtown Arlington with Joy Ridge with Susan G Komen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you for having me. And Joy, what's your title?
So my title is Executive Director of Susan G Komen Greater Fort Worth.
Well, thank you for being here with us today.
I'm absolutely thrilled.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for the partnership. You guys are joining the City of Arlington on October 11th for our breast cancer awareness event. So thank you so much for that partnership.
Well, we're absolutely thrilled. So I say that my title is Executive Director of Greater Fort Worth, but that's really includes all of Tarrant County, actually Parker, Johnson, and Hood counties. But we all know that Greater Fort Worth is really a big territory.
It is. It's huge.
and we are super excited. We really wanted to have some outreach into Arlington because you guys are kind of the heart of DFW.
I love that. Well, thank you for saying that,
Yeah.
and thank you for definitely including Arlington in that. Thank you so much. Well, tell me a little bit about the organization. Our goal today is definitely to teach people that don't know about Susan G Komen about the organization on there.
Yeah, so we are the Susan G Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. We've been around since 1982. Definitely have a North Texas roots. We were founded in 1982 by Nancy Brinker, who had vowed to her sister, Susan Goodman Komen, so that's where that comes from, Susan G Komen. A lot of people say Susan B Komen because of the Susan B Anthony,
Right.
But so her sister was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of I think 32. Don't quote me on that, but basically her sister died in her mid 30s, and she told her sister Nancy to do something about this. So this is really Nancy Brinker's gift to really the world now. So she started it in Dallas in 1982 with a shoebox full of names and $200. Wow. And she started, with the Race for the Cure, which was the first event. It was an all-women's race. And this was back in the early 80s when people really weren't even talking about breast cancer. I don't think you could even say the word on TV.
Right.
So that's kind of how it started, and it's grown from there. And so now we are a nationwide organization. We have our signature event in Fort Worth, in Greater Fort Worth, is our More Than Pink Walk, which is coming up on October 4th at the Shops at Clear Fork. And then again, we do a lot of other outreach, and it's really to raise awareness and raise funds in the fight against breast cancer. I am gonna look through my notes just because I have to know a little bit about a lot of things, and I've actually been involved with Komen for many, many years. I used to work for Pier 1 Imports, and we were a national sponsor of Komen back in the late 80s and 90s and 2000s, and now I'm on this side of the program and just loving it. So since Komen started, we have invested nearly 1.1 billion, that's billion with a B, in breast cancer research.
Wow.
And that's resulted in better outcomes for people going through treatment now and bringing us closer to the cures. And that's second only to the US government in funding for research.
Wow.
So another kind of interesting statistic is that over the past 30 years, 29 new breast cancer fighting drugs were made possible in part due to Komen research funding.
Wow.
And so our mission spend, the money that we spend, is in really three interrelated areas: research, of course, which we just talked about, patient support, and public policy and advocacy. And those are all three areas needed to find the cures for the most aggressive and deadliest forms of the disease, including metastatic breast cancer. And so I don't know if you know, but metastatic breast cancer, you've probably heard of stage 4.
I have, yeah.
And so at this point, there is no cure for stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, but one of our key initiatives is to help those patients live longer, healthier lives. So we still got some work to do, but we're definitely making some strides in that area.
Nice.
And then I think this is something that we talked about when we met. Another one of our key initiatives is ensuring that all people get access to care and to the high quality care that they need. So, you know, this is kind of a statistic that is shocking, but Black women are 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than their white counterparts.
I've seen those numbers, they're astonishing. Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
And you know, it's actually also the most common cancer among Hispanic and Latino women in the US. And this is really because of genetics, lived experiences, race, age, gender, and tumor biology that all play a role in this. And so that's one of the things that Komen is really working on, is getting a more diverse population of participants in clinical trials. We have a program called Share for Cures that we're going to be promoting in our walk, and we can for sure have that information at the Arlington event on October 11th. And that's a program where we're just asking those who are going through treatment or have been a breast cancer survivor to send us, literally, it's like a swab, and you put it in a packet and send it in, and it's completely anonymous. And that is going to a national database for research across the country and across the world to get a more diverse sampling of breast cancer patients.
Well, Joy, let me ask you this. So for anyone that's watching that wants to take part in that study, is there somewhere like on your website that maybe they can go sign up as well?
Absolutely. Everything is on our website at Komen.org.
So Komen.org.
Komen.org, and it's spelled Komen.org.
So guys, what we'll do is we'll put that at the bottom of the screen for you. We'll put all of this information at the bottom on there for you.
Yeah, and I think, and then you just could type in Share for Cures. Another key area that we talked about is our Stand for Her initiative, and that's the Health Equity Revolution. I used to say revival, but it's revolution, similar. And there's a lot of information in there for if you want to know a little bit more about that initiative. We do have another program that is a nationwide program called Worship in Pink. And that's another program that is, you know, basically it's kind of a kit that you can get information if you wanted to do something at your church. And again, that is there's a lot of Black communities that's where people meet. That's their community. They meet at church. And so that's another great resource.
Perfect. Now, as we approach our October, we're getting ready for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is a big month, I know, for you guys on there. So I know you told us about one of your events. Do you have other events that you guys maybe wanted to let people know that's coming up in October for you guys?
Well, our big one really in Fort Worth is the More Than Pink Walk. And so that's Saturday, October 4th at the shops at Clear Fork, and it's super easy to get there. Take 30, exit, get on the Chisholm Trail Parkway, exit Edwards Ranch Road, and you can register at Komen.org/FTW Walk. And you can also put that in the links. That's really our big event. There's another event 2 weeks later in Dallas that is the Race for the Cure, which is kind of the original concept. And that's going to be at a new location this year at UT Dallas.
Oh, wow.
In Richardson. So backing up a little bit, the walk is free to register. Anybody who registers and is a breast cancer survivor will get a t-shirt. And anybody who raises $100 or more will get a t-shirt. Now the deadline for getting your t-shirt before the walk is coming up. It's next, I don't know when this comes out, it's September 3rd.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, we encourage groups to fundraise. We have a lot of great things going on at the walk. There's a 1 mile option or a 3 mile option at the walk. Now the Dallas race, there is an entry fee for that because it's actually a 5K race. It's an officially timed 5K race. So if you're a runner and want to get another run in under your belt for whatever you're qualifying for, that website is again Komen.org/Dallas race, and that's $45 to participate. And then the other key kind of event in Dallas Fort Worth in October is our Komen 3-day event.
Yes. Yes.
So actually, Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas is the only market in the country that has all 3 signature Komen events. So we've got a walk, we've got a race, and then the 3-day. And the 3-day is a little bit different. It's a 60-mile, 20-mile-a-day walk.
Wow.
Yeah. And so day 1 is in Dallas, day 2 is in Fort Worth, day 3 is in Dallas somewhere. Maybe someday we can get them to do a day in Arlington.
That would be amazing.
But that event is, our team doesn't put that event on. That's something that people sign up for well in advance because you have to raise $2,300 just to participate. So that's really kind of they call it the pink bubble. It's really powerful. People go away from that just with an amazing experience. I was going to do it one year and then I tore my calf playing pickleball, so so I had to bow out. But there's opportunities to volunteer.
Perfect. So just to make sure everyone understands,
yeah.
So September 3rd is the deadline to sign up for the first one, correct?
It's the deadline to sign up and fundraise if you want a t-shirt.
If you want a t-shirt, September 3rd.
But you can register all the way up until October 4th.
Gotcha.
For that event. And it is, it's the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So most people do kind of wait until the last minute to register just because, So we it's Komen speak for NABCAM is what we call National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And usually what happens, so you're ahead of the game by talking about this now.
Right.
But usually what happens is people wake up on October 1st and they're like, oh, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I need to do something. I'm going to call Komen. And then they'll call us on October 2nd, which is my birthday. So.
Happy early birthday. I love it. As we close up, is there anything else that you would like our viewers to know about the organization, about yourself, or anything that we can really just teach anyone that doesn't maybe know as much? Because this airs kind of around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of, some key takeaways is that breast cancer really impacts everyone, and it's not a partisan issue. This year, an estimated 319,750 people in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and nearly 43,000 will die of breast cancer. And again, we talked about it being deadly when it gets to stage 4. So, I think that's one of the key messages is early detection. That's another thing we talk about a lot at Komen is there's sort of 4 key pieces that people should know. So know your risk. So if you have a family history of breast cancer or even cancer, you should talk to your doctor. Again, I have to know a little bit about a lot of things. You can find all of this at Komen.org. But so know your risk. And what we're finding is that younger women are being diagnosed with breast cancer. And there's a bunch of different types of breast cancer, and triple negative is one of the hardest. It's a tricky breast cancer, and that's one of the ones. Black women are more likely to have triple negative breast cancer.
Triple negative.
Triple negative, and again, it's a scientific term, but you can look it up on Komen.org. So know your risk, get screened. So every woman should at least have a mammogram by age 40. But again, if you have a family risk, talk to your doctor. There's other screening options. That we've come a long way in that. So know your risk, get screened, know you're normal. If you find something that doesn't feel right, and this goes for men too, because 1% of all breast cancer cases are among men.
I read that, yeah.
So if you find something that doesn't feel right, we even have a friend, my counterpart, my coworker Emily, has a good friend who, she was like, I smell funny. I don't feel right.
Yeah.
And come to find out, she went to her doctor and was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
And then the last one I think is lead a healthy lifestyle. But that's not good for, obviously we know smoking is not good.
Right.
And eating a lot of processed foods, obviously get exercise. So that's kind of a key message. We're also here to help. You can go again to Komen.org, or we have a patient care hotline, which is 1-877-GO-KOMEN. So you can look up the numbers if you go on your keypad, but Go Komen, it's easy to remember. And on that, we can provide you with a nurse navigator to help you through your journey. There's even questions that we can provide for you to ask your doctor. What else? And financial assistance.
That's important. That's important. Yeah.
And actually, 1 out of every 2 calls is breast cancer is a very expensive cancer to treat.
Yeah.
And with it being primarily affecting women, if you're a woman and you're a mom, and you're a working mom, and you're going through chemo, you might not be able to work.
Yeah.
So we can provide you with some financial assistance, not as much as we would love to be able to just, but we can also connect you with resources.
That's important. I think that's important for people to know, because that's one of the, I'll just tell kind of a quick story. One of the reasons I did start the breast cancer awareness event, I myself during COVID was late taking my mammogram. And I didn't know, and a lot of women didn't know, I kind of used that as a tool to say, you know what, let's offer these free mammograms to women that may be too busy working. Because, I got busy working, and it's not an excuse, but it did happen. So I think one of the things that really resonates with me is get screened. Make sure screenings can save lives. So I do appreciate you, bringing that information to us today. Joy, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show.
So fun.
Yeah, well,
You're the best.
Thank you so much for you guys. Thank you for your partnership. As we go, guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.